So we're going to talk about why Bill Gates said, so billionaire Bill Gates, one of the richest people in the world, said that being lazy is actually a good thing. So this was a nice mind reset or reframing for me when I first read this. And one of the things over here you can see the quote, I choose a lazy person to do a hard job because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. So what does that mean exactly? For me, I used to be classified as lazy by some teachers or some parents because I would always find shortcuts because I didn't want to do the work. Nor did I want to be in the class. I just wasn't interested at all. So I would not want to go to class. If I had to, I would do the work last minute. So here's an example. For my economics classes, we would all go to this thing called Econ Tutor, and we'd go to Econ Tutor, and then he'd basically give us the answers. So that is a way of finding a shortcut. So did I learn anything in the class? Probably not. But at least, the ultimate goal, if the ultimate goal is to get that diploma, to get that paper at the end, then I'm getting there, right? I'm doing a workaround. Another example would be, I used to, in college, I had a history class, and we had to create a paper or write a paper. I have to say create because basically I just created it out of thin air, usually the day or a couple of days before. And I would never go to class, and I would go to Wikipedia, and let's say I had to write a paper on Napoleon, which actually was a thing. And so I would just go to Google and find a bunch of information on Napoleon. And usually I would just look at the Wikipedia and I would just create the article myself, basically paraphrase the article or the Wikipedia entry. What I would do nowadays, if you're to say if I'm in college and I found out about GPT-3, which is the ability to create articles at scale, oh my God, I would, if I were forced to go to college by my parents, or like, you have to do this or else you're not going to get access to whatever, I would say, okay, I'll become a history major and I'm just going to write all these papers, okay? And then I would just tell GPT-3, write a paper on Napoleon or something like that. And it'll put out this whole original piece, and I'm good to go. And I'll probably get an A there. So what I'm saying here is lazy people are usually able to connect the dots. And being able to connect the dots, being able to recognize patterns is really important in business as well. And so I'm going to pull up this other quote over here. This one is from I believe this is a German general. I believe it's a World War I general. But here's what he said. I divide officers into 4 classes: the clever, the lazy, the stupid, and the industrious. Each officer possesses at least 2 of these qualities. Those who are clever and industrious are fitted for the high staff appointments. Use can be made of those who are stupid and lazy. The man who is clever and lazy is fit for the very highest command. He has a temperament and the requisite nerves to deal with all situations. But whoever is stupid and industrious must be removed immediately. Okay? So what does this say? This stuck out to me because, in college or in even high school, I would say, more so high school, you're taught to conform. You're taught to, you got to follow the rules. You got to take this test. And then taking a test is that's memorization. If I was never interested, then why would I do that in the first place? So that didn't really make sense to me. And in some cases I wouldn't do well on tests because I just wasn't interested in school. And so I think what school does, why our education system is broken right now, is because it teaches people to conform. It doesn't teach people to think outside the box. And so what I think is important is to understand that in high school, you felt inferior because everyone was conforming and maybe you weren't. And there's a lot of other variables that go into this, but what I'm saying is most of the people that I see as, sure, there are some valedictorians out there, so this is the person that's seen as the top of the class for each high school senior year. A lot of the ones I've seen, they actually end up getting really good high-paying jobs, but a lot of them are working on salary. And, you're watching this, you're probably thinking, I want to be the best version of myself. I want to be able to, be in control of my own destiny. I think having a salary is fine, but, if you want to have the most upside for yourself, then you eventually have to create your own thing, and you eventually have to own equity, and eventually you want to be able to invest in other areas. And then that's for another time. So, traditional education, which is broken, again, it cranks out people that follow the rules, and you need these people in the world. But you're watching this right now because you want to break away from that mold. And so that's why I'm all for clever and lazy people, and I'm all for looking for people that are bar raisers. So let's say if I'm looking to recruit someone, I want them to be able to connect the dots. Maybe I'll point out all the assets that we have. Hey, we have these 2 podcasts over here. We have this YouTube channel over here. We have this blog that gets a couple 100,000 visits a month. We have this agency over here. We have this, we have that, we have that. According to your strengths, okay, looking at your strengths and knowing what we have already, what do you think is a good idea? What should we be doing? Okay. If I'm interviewing someone and I just got this idea right now, this again connecting the dots. Oh, okay, it's gonna show you how much have they looked into your business? And then also how well do they know how to connect the dots? Because if they're really smart, they're gonna know what to do. Okay, and it's very hard to find these bar racers. It's very hard to find these clever and lazy people. Again, I think lazy is just it's got negative connotations, but I think it's actually a good thing. All right. So anyway, before we go, levelingup.com. Okay, free chapter of the book, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Go be lazy.